What's up, homebodies and scrappy storytellers and the rest of the internet? If you've been following this channel for the last year, you know that I'm an actor that pivoted during the shutdown to look for every imaginable tool and technique for virtual storytelling. If you're unfamiliar with this channel, please subscribe, because that's how videos like today happen, which are promotions. I finally opened myself up to be approached by brands and companies about maybe promoting some of their products, or at least trying out their products. Again, I'm very, very careful about what I recommend to y'all, especially because I don't want you to have to pay for tools that you haven't gotten to try, and especially if I haven't gotten to test them. So I opened myself up for promotions, and the first one that I got was a unicorn party planner. I posted the email they sent me on Twitter, and enough of y'all thought that it would be hilarious if I did that. So I actually wrote them back, and I was like, I want to confirm that you meant to reach out to me, but I am 100% in. And they responded, we absolutely meant to reach out to you. Where can we send it? And I was very excited. I actually called my goddaughter and asked if I could do a unicorn party with her, because I thought if anybody's going to get value out of this, it would be her. And then, sadly, there was an issue with the unicorn party package, and it's no longer available. And I have so many questions. As disappointed as I am, other companies did reach out to me that were actually more in alignment with the content that I make, including the one that I'm talking about in today's video, who wanted me to be the very first beta tester and possible influencer, affiliate, promoter if I liked it. So I said, yeah, give it to me. I'll play with it in real time on a video. So we're gonna go to dowow.tv, which is a virtual event company that basically lets you customize a variety of grids to put any media content that you want, basically using iFrames for anyone who's done website design. But they claim this includes the ability to embed a Zoom meeting, or in my case, a Mozilla Hub's VR room, right into a website, and then customize all the other banners and interactions around it. So you could send your users to a singular website, either generated by them or embedded into your own website, and update chat, clickable banners, social media, images, what have you. So I figured we would look under the hood together. I spend most of my weeks consulting and assisting companies to bring their productions virtual in new and exciting ways, and occasionally act in a few of them. And the current production that I'm working on is By Me by Tom Mentor. We've developed his play into 3 frames that are being presented academically at different institutions and communities around the country, and the first one was Quicksilver Theater Company in Brooklyn. So I'm going to be using those assets today to kind of dress up Zoom a little bit, to give the audience a nice interface with the Zoom meeting, maybe a playbill, some banners, maybe a sponsor logo or something like that, to give myself and all of us an idea of how you might use DoWow to really elevate your virtual production. Let's check it out. Okay, so I'm going to stage.dowow.tv, which is the kind of login dashboard. And this is what I love about working with small companies, is Evgenia, one of the founders of the company, is giving me her login credentials. So I hope I don't break anything. When I log on, I can see, I guess, the events here in this little box. She has this test event. I don't want to peek at that. I want us to completely go in blind. And then there's create new event. So we're going to click on that. Give it an event name. Let's call it, let's call it By Me, because we're promoting this show. And event URL, I'm guessing it wants my approved flashlight GLB. It's the most recent thing I typed, I guess. The event URL, I guess, is probably let's just do Quicksilver Theater Company, I believe it's .com. Location, they are technically in Brooklyn, so I'll give them that. Add collaborators, I don't think there's any at this time. Start date, it's in the past, but let's just pick a day. Let's say it's in June 1 through June 5, Boomtown. I don't have a favicon, I don't have a poster. My alias for it, maybe we call this By Me. Let's pretend we were doing multiple shows. So this is the June 1 show, and this is a sample of By Me DoWow site. My brain broke. This is the hardest part, coming up with a description. That's someone else. That's marketing's problem. All right, so now it's returned me to the dashboard. It says an event has been successfully created. So now I have all these things here. So, okay, to be fair, they did go over some of this with me, but I did want to kind of fly in as blind as possible to have real-time reactions with y'all. So what I do remember from the call is that each of the grids or regions on the screen, they call playlist. And so you create a bunch of playlists, and then you determine where those playlists live in the iframes, basically. Sure. So going back to Do Wow, it looks like we can make a playlist out of a Twitter feed or hashtag probably, a G Drive, Instagram, any iframe, and then straight up you can port Zoom. So that's pretty exciting. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so I click on one of these small squares, and then when I drag my mouse, it basically builds the region. So I guess we'll have kind of a top left square, and then click and drag like a bottom left square. Maybe let's do the same thing on each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Seems exact. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and down. Perfect. And perfect. And then this center region, I don't know, that doesn't look like Zoom. Zoom is more square, right? So, so I don't like that. But there's this little minus symbol in the top left. So if I click on that, it goes away. Excellent. Great. Starting over. Maybe get rid of all of these for a second. What if I have like a banner at the top, right? Straight up banner. And then this is like the fastest layout design and UX design I've ever done, by the way. I'm sure there's so many people who are crying, just being like, you are putting no thought into this. But I'm just trying to kind of get a sense of it. So dragging that out, nice. So that looks more Zoom size. We'll put that front and center. And then on the sides, let's say we've got a square here, a square here, and then let's have the playbill be on this right-hand side. Nice, so we've got a banner up top, 2 square regions, the middle Zoom, and then the right. So I've now drawn those. Cool. So let's start with like Twitter. Can I just type in like a hashtag? Hashtag Quicksilver. Say, and I hit enter, and it's searching, and it's straight up found. I mean, it's finding Quicksilver. It's not Quicksilver Theater Company. Okay, so what if I do Quicksilver Theater? Nothing. Great. Okay, so let's be self-serving, and let's try future stages. Hashtag future stages. Excellent. Oh yeah. If you're watching this, you could nominate the future stages and my work for a Indie Theater Champion Award. That's on my Twitter. And there's also been some really cool updates that I've posted on Twitter of kind of little tinkerings that I've been doing when I can't dedicate to like a full stream. Often because what happens is I go down a rabbit hole and like 5 hours later, I'm like, I really should have recorded all of this because I found a lot of cool stuff. But now I basically have this like one thumbnail image, or I have like the end product result, and I'm like, here you go. But it's not really worthy of an entire post. So I'm just going to go ahead and select some of these tweets with this little plus symbol. I'm guessing instead of a bookmark. Plus, is there more? Is that it? Those are all the things that show up. What if I put in my handle? At Brendan A. Bradley. Cool. So here's a bunch more stuff. But I have this first playlist. It has a little Twitter logo so that I know that it's the Twitter one. I wonder if I go back up to the top. It's called first playlist. Let's hit this gear. All right, let's call it the Twitter feed. Apply chain. Oh, content playout shuffle, neutral, newest, cool. Interval 10 seconds. Okay, so this is probably the live update feature. So if you had a hashtag going during an event, you could basically have it cycle through that content. And I'm pretty sure, let's see. So that's now my Twitter feed. And I'm pretty sure that if somebody posted something that you didn't like, right? Like if someone posted hate speech or an inappropriate comment or something you just didn't want to get to, you then hit that minus symbol, boom, and it's out of the feed. So that's pretty nifty. I wonder if I just I don't want to delete Ken Bai's tweet. I don't know if there's a tweet that I can delete. I imagine it just deletes it from this feed. It must. The source, I can also add, I can add, okay, sorry. So in real time, I'm figuring this out. You can put multiple sources inside of a playlist. That's why they call it a playlist, Brendan. So I could add like a Google image and the tweets and an Instagram photo and an iFrame thing and just let it be cycling through those things, which is pretty nifty. But for now, I'm going to try to bifurcate the Twitter from the images, from the Zoom, just so we can kind of like lay out the screen in a organizational fashion that would make sense to my brain. Okay, so I'm getting the hang of this. Now I will make a new G Drive feed. And it's thinking. And I connected my Google Drive. So Evgenia, I am so sorry. There's so much nonsense in there. You can literally look at it down this list. You've got By Me, Mozilla Theater, Gmail templates, curtains, pitches, Maya animations. So this is just a look inside my brain. So you're welcome. Going into my By Me folder, I've built some little icons and things to be able to use for the show. That's in the wrong place. So that's an Unreal test that I did. So I can't like delete it out of here like I could with the tweets. So let me just hit minus and see what happens. Now it gives me the option to delete it. All right, so I hit delete and nothing happened. So, all right, so that doesn't really matter. That's just for me. Excellent. So starting with the Twitter feed, that's cool. Now we're building out this new thing. I'm gonna make that bottom left corner like a sponsor logo. And for now, we'll make it the theater company. So I'm hitting plus and go up to the top and, oh, Brendan, you're so dumb. Okay, so what I've now done is in my Twitter feed, I'm now adding this G Drive, and that is not what I wanted to do. So I'm gonna minus, right? I'm gonna add playlist, the green button, G Drive. Here we go. There we go. Hit the plus symbol. Go back up to playlist G Drive. There we go. Like click on it 3 or 4 times. Hit the gear. I'm gonna call this sponsor slot. And it's not shuffling. So do I make it just neutral? I'm sure it's fine. Hit apply. Cool. And now I think because I'm in the playlist, when I click on these regions, it goes boom. So we've got my Twitter feed, my sponsor slot. Fantastic. Add a playlist, another G Drive for that giant banner at the top. I'm sure the formatting on this is going to be totally wrong because I did not design it for this purpose. But let's go ahead and just throw this in. I'm gonna call this, let's see, so if I click playlist, double click on playlist G Drive, it takes like a second, but I think I'm just being impatient. So now, playlist, top banner, apply, and hit top banner. Sweet. Oh, okay, hold up. So when I assign a playlist to one of the frames or the grids that I've built, then these 3 dots appear. And when you click on those 3 dots, it says manage call to action. So we have tile behavior. They call them tiles, not grids. I'm so sorry. See, I'm gonna use all the wrong lingo. I'm the worst spokesperson. And it's funny because I was a spokesperson. Tile behavior, auto, static, interactive, playlist, call to action. Cool. So auto, I guess it just kind of guesses based off of what you put in there. Static, obviously just a static thing. Interactive, I'm guessing will go somewhere. Maybe we'll find out. Playlist, which is weird because we're already calling the things on the left playlist. So it's, do we just see the entire playlist, or can we only assign a playlist if the tile behavior is playlist? We will find out together. Going back into it, and call to action. Oh, okay. So call to action, I feel like I know more about. Call to action URL, open a new tab, same frame, host page, button, or none. So it seems like you're able to put in, so it's Quicksilver Theater. So let's type HTTPS, quicksilvertheater.com, not coin. They don't have their own coin yet. Open in a new tab, that sounds smart. A button, I'm gonna say put a button so we can look at it. Oh my, button text. Go to our site. A button color, I can put in a hex color. The only one I know offhand is FFFF or 0000. So let's make it a black button. A hex color has 6 zeros, not 20 zeros, Brendan. And FFFFF. So it's just going to be a black button with white text. Center, bottom, medium button size, button style. Rectangular outline, rectangular solid. Rectangular outline, rounded solid. Okay. Let's do rectangular outline. Save. Lovely. We'll take a look at that later. Now we're going to add a new... So the thing that it keeps pinging for me, and this would just be like silly UX feedback, but I keep wanting to click this... You can't see my cursor. I keep wanting to click the blue region that has the plus symbol next to source up where you see G drive, because I keep thinking, oh great, I want to add one. But my left column is basically my hierarchy of assets. And so I need to add a playlist here and then assign that playlist. I'm going to do one more G drive asset. And I've got basically this like baby version of the program that was just like a little snippet that we put up on screen. I don't know that, again, it's going to match my regions here. And what I would want to do is actually use that real estate to kind of cycle through a variety of images. So maybe right now, I'll also put these instructions for pin the main video, keep your camera on, turn your microphone off, use the chat, and we'll just see those all cycle through. So we're going to call this... Right, I have to click on the purple playlist. I have to wait, like a patient person does. Double click and wait. No. So it wasn't that I was being impatient. Okay, so now I'm going to double click on playlist /G drive. So when I click on that, that's where it lets me rename it. So click the gear. And this is my play bill. What do we call that? A column? Sure. Apply. And apply. Perfect. So now the only thing left to do is to add my Zoom my Zoom playlist. To make a Zoom playlist. And I don't have any instructions here. So I'm going to guess, based off of my information about iframes, that it's basically asking me to create the URL that is the iframe src source equals, and then what's in the quotations if I was doing this on HTML. So I'm guessing that that is what I'm filling in here, is that if I put in this region the URL of a Zoom meeting, it's going to put that meeting there. Let's find out. So let's open Zoom. I thought it was going to be all fancy and like edit around this and then just ignore that I opened Zoom on a separate screen and you all would get it. But then I realized we might have to like find stuff inside of the Zoom preferences later. And so I made this for that possibly. Cool. Let's find out. Okay, so we've started a meeting and look, it is a weird shape and man, there is a delay. Woo! So we have our little meeting going on, participants, invite, copy link invitation. And now let's go back to do wow and take this meeting invitation and paste it in here and hit enter. Invalid Zoom link. Okay, so that is the Zoom link, but it said it was invalid. So what if with Twitter we just searched the hashtag or the handle? So maybe I just need to put in the numbers and not the full URL. Let's find out. So I'm going to paste it again, and this time I'm just going to delete everything except the number of this meeting. That didn't do it either. Cool. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but I do remember that they told me that the zoom button was a new feature and that typically you just used iFrame. So I'm gonna go back to the playlist and I guess I create a new playlist, iFrame, and just straight up put the URL here. And it at least gives me something. So I'm going to say that that's what I want with the plus symbol and then click over here. And I can even see already it is asking me to put in my name and access to microphone. So in the iFrame section, it does recognize the Zoom link, but for some reason in the Zoom section, it does not. So look at me, I'm healthy. This looks pretty good as a page, and it took me, I don't know, how long we've been doing this? A couple minutes? So that's not bad. There is a phone symbol that says mobile and a tablet symbol that says tablet. I'm hoping that when I click on these, it will then just have configured my nonsense for those devices, kind of like scaled them for kind of best practices. It does not. It does not. But that makes sense because it can't possibly take this and scale it perfectly for that. So it looks like I then need to rebuild my whole situation. Whoops. I gotta remember to hold it down. And then that and that. Nope. That. One time. Oh, I have to take 2 frames. Is that true? I can't just take a square? Yeah, I can't take a single square. All right. So now, Zoom is our most important thing. I'll throw that in the middle. The sponsor slot, let's throw down here in the bottom left. We don't need the Twitter feed as much for this, so let's put the playbill there. And then where's my banner? Is this my banner? Top banner. It's called top banner, Brenda. Great, I'll put that there. And then for the tablet, we can spread out a little more. Nice, so we've got a banner. And then I kind of want this all to be I mean, people are here for the show, right? Like that's what they're here for. So I feel like it's the Zoom, put that there. And then if they really want some extra content, I'm wondering if this is where it would scroll. So if I kind of do this, that, and that, and I can make those regions for the Twitter feed, the sponsor slot, and the playbill goes there. It's not a thing. Great. So I'm gonna publish it and let's see what happens. Wall has been updated. So this whole thing that we've been building this whole time is called a wall. So we have a workspace on the far left. In the center is where you create your playlist, and then you assign those playlists to, oh shoot, what were they called? So we have tiles that are on walls that are made up of playlists that have your iframed media. I published it and I'm looking around. There appears to be an add button. I guess I can add a wall to the same website. We'll get there. Share. Share's probably good. I'll copy that link. Slug. What does that mean? Let's call this by me 0601. Okay, so it is now going to create a URL that is my event alias, because the event name was by me, but the event alias was by me _ June 1. .dowow.me / whatever I want this slug to be. So I can be like, join. And I'll hit apply. And now I copy it, throw it in, and oops. Okay, so they actually warned me about this because this is a part of me kind of like testing this out before they officially launch. The custom URLs are going to be a thing in the future, but at this very moment don't work. So you will not have to deal with this, but I have to put in a completely different URL. And I just forgot because I'm awesome. But if I go to the share link and the embed code, I need this number here. And you see it's next to data-do wall. So I actually have to go to stage.dowall.tv/ and that number, and it loads the page. Pretty cool. So now what we have is our banner up top. I've got my tweets happening on this side, my little sponsor section with our button that we created on the bottom left, rotating through the images on the right hand side, and then our Zoom box in the middle that I can join the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to go back to the editing dashboard to see if I can play with some of those interactions and see what they do. And our Twitter feed, and I've got this guy, so I'm going to say minus. Let's just take that out of the feed. And if we were doing this in real time, I don't think I need to hit publish again. I think that just when I'm on the site, switching back over, it's going to cycle through on that kind of top left region where my tweets are. Let's see if it now no longer includes the tweet of me in VR, looking at my VR hands and using lights. So if we do not see a video up there, then we did it correctly. Amazing. So we've cycled through one whole time at this point, because I've already seen Fifth Wall Forum, and it never showed the video that I discluded from this playlist. So you could have a live monitor inside of this playlist, taking tweets from a hashtag or being tweeted at your company or your event, and they'd be able to select which ones showed up and which ones didn't, which would be great for a Q&A or just show audience engagement or to have some sort of interactivity on the page. Not bad. Let's play around with these call to actions. So our tile behavior of the tweets, we'll leave on the playlist because I imagine that's telling it to scrub through them. The sponsor slot, I don't know that I'm getting anything out of that button, so I'm gonna hit none. And I'll leave it as a call to action because I think that's how I get the URL to go out to the website. So I'll save that. I kind of want, I guess, auto for whatever the Zoom thing is, because people still need to be able to like make it go full screen. The playbill, I want that to probably be interactive. See what that means. And the top banner, probably static, because I don't want people to really be able to click or resize that. It just is going to show up the top of the screen. So just reacting in real time, it seems like that if I change the content that's in a playlist, that will update in real time because it's basically just iframing what's inside that playlist. But if I want to make any overall changes to the layout or the way in which the tiles are interacting, that has to be republished. So we'll go back here, just hit publish. The wall has been updated. And now let's swap over. And immediately the button is gone. These are now no longer clickable, so my banner is truly static. The tweets is a playlist. The call to action goes out to the theater company's website. Very cool. And the only thing that I don't understand, to be honest, is this right region where I have the rotating playbill and information. That's not clickable at all. So I'm not really sure what an interactive tile behavior means. Maybe that's if it was a video, it could mute and autoplay because those seem to be the options. So I'm going to put this back to auto, hit save. I have to publish. And now going back to the site, give that a second. And there it went. So not bad, like 5-10 seconds to update. And now I can click on this and it gives it to me full frame. So if I wanted to put the playbill here, I could put the full playbill on the side. If someone clicked on it, it would go full screen. Then they could hit the X and get out of it and never interrupt their viewing of the Zoom. Cool. So I've set up a relatively simple but elegant looking website. However, most of the theater work that excites me has been in virtual reality. I've been using Mozilla Hubs, which is a browser-based virtual reality tool that lets anybody log in from their web browser. So I'm going to see if I can use that iFrame source URL to host a browser-based virtual reality experience inside of DoWow. So I'm going to go to an existing room I have in Mozilla Hubs and click on this invite button. And I see this embed code, the iFrame source. However, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to want the URL, not the entire iFrame code, but let's find out. I'm gonna paste the whole code into here. It says page not found. So let's back it up a little bit here and just find the URL, basically the parts within the quotes. Throw that, send it, it's thinking, and I'm seeing something load up that looks a lot like Hub. So I'm gonna hit this plus symbol, and I shouldn't have to publish because again, I've changed content inside of the playlist rather than the functionality of the tiles. So let's see, if I go back to the website, it is auto updating in the center. Load room. And it appears to be loading the Hub's room right there inside the iFrame. So I can hit join room. Mozilla always makes you kind of just have a random display name and a random avatar. You can change those things, but I'll just keep them for this test. Allow my permissions for my microphone. Set my microphone. And now here I am inside of this little room that I've built in Mozilla Hubs. Pretty cool. Now there's a trick you can do in Mozilla Hubs to go full screen and not see all the UI, and that's using the little tilde button. So I'm gonna hit that at the top left of my keyboard, and it went full screen. Not bad. So that's pretty cool. I could instruct the audience on the right information panel on how to disable or enable the UI. If I click on chat, it goes full screen with the chat just for real estate, so that makes sense. So people could chat, people can react, give an emoji, disable or enable their microphone, and set their preferences up in that top left. So that's pretty effective that you can take pretty much anything that you have an iFrame embed code, just grab the URL snippet, paste that into DoWow, and then it populates in that section of your page. Just to test that theory one more time, let's go to YouTube. Go to my channel. We'll grab this video of me singing inside of a virtual reality painting. Click on the share button and the embed. Now I'm going to grab the source, basically the part that's inside of the quotes. Copy that. Go back to my DoWow editor and hit paste. And I can see the video inside of there. So in real time, let's say I want people to see kind of a welcome video that I've uploaded to YouTube. And I don't want them to see the VR room yet, because maybe this is the pre-show or something like that. Now let's go back to this, and when they come, they're gonna see, looks like just the thumbnail of the video, so they have to click on it. Okay, it pops up and it plays full screen. So I would have to change this setting from auto to interactive. It won't mute it, and I will make it autoplay, and I'll hit save, and because I've changed the tile functionality, I do have to hit publish. But now this should mean that in about 5 to 10 seconds, this page will refresh, and this should be an auto-playing video when people first come. Lovely. So I've got this auto-playing video, right, as people, it's got my pre-show instructions, maybe a little welcome thing, that's cool. And then I decide, all right, the show's ready to start. I'm going to remove this, add the VR iFrame room, hit publish. And now I've got my little pre-show video happening. It's good, but it's time for the show to start. 5 seconds, and boom, we're switching over, and the room loads. So not bad, and I think the application of this could be really interesting if you're basically trying to keep people on your website or on a specific site with all the information, all the interactivity you want. I think of productions like Eshkatan, which is an amazing Zoom nightclub, if you haven't checked it out, where they basically take you into breakout rooms and you interact with different live performances, kind of variety acts. And so they have this beautiful web interface that you type in little codes to be able to open up those Zoom links. But what if they could embed all those Zoom links in different tiles at the bottom of the screen? That could be pretty cool. So I might come over here and say add to add a page, right? and I might have my banner at the very top, and then I might just have a bunch of smaller rooms to choose from. These could be each a Zoom playlist, if you will, or iFrame. I think that one's too big. I've probably not mathed this out. Yeah, I'm going to have a little room over here at the edge. But if each of those were a different login, and then you could have a larger ad here, and then maybe you've got some basic information, yada, yada. But you just kind of go crazy with this, which is pretty cool. So with no coding, very little time, and really just grabbing the assets that I already had at my disposal, I was able to spin up something that looked pretty professional, public-facing, that gets my audience outside of the Zoombox UI and gives them a little more interactivity. A show like By Me really relied on breakout rooms and post-show conversation and chatting with the audience throughout the journey. So this would be a really fun way to engage with folks in different areas of the screen while the main performance was happening uninterrupted. But please tell me in the comments if this is something that you would use, if you have questions about it, if there's something I didn't really cover or cover well. I think it was really cool of the folks at DoWow to reach out to me and say, here, these are our admin credentials. Log in and play around and share it with your community. I'm also really grateful that they're letting anyone who uses my code, Brendan A. Bradley, to be able to get a discount for your first month. If you like this video, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and please share. Be kind to each other, and now, go create something.